All right,
Go for it.
amazing. Yeah, so like mental health is interesting. Man, there's so much. There are many thoughts on mental health, so it's like an interesting jumping off point because it's such a large topic. But um, I feel so deeply that like if we considered mental health the same way that we consider physical health, we would have such a different approach to like how we treat each other. I think like physical health and I think it's because we're so aesthetically driven, which is I guess, I mean I have an interest in aesthetics that way, but we're really obsessed with like how people look and how that pertains to nutrition and so on and so forth, and it's so recent that we even started to wonder about the mind, and even now we have so little generosity towards others. um so I don't know. I mean, that was an odd tangent, I guess, to start that off. So my apologies, but so my like experience with mental health. Mm, I mean, I guess mental health it takes on a different form every day, but the kind of like traumatic experience that I've had with mental health was my like freshman year of college. I was became over the course of time like more and more depressed. I really didn't understand what was happening. It was just like every day just kept feeling gloomy and felt so long, and I was just like counting the minutes. um, and I was just lying in bed all the time, and I would just like my bathroom would get totally black, and I would like turn all the lights out and just like stand under the shower and just have that shit run on me, and it just like to feel like I didn't exist in space. Like I don't know, it was such a different experience for me because that really I kind of struggled with mental health, but hadn't put a name to it before, and prior to that it had been pretty good, and so I wasn't that worried about it, and so then to feel myself just spiraling every day, just get worse and worse, was so hard. And that it probably went on like that for 8 months or something until my mom finally was like, Ellis, you're depressed. You should see a therapist. And I was like, I don't know. It wasn't even that I really had a stigma. Like, I wouldn't care if someone saw a therapist. But it just didn't seem necessary in a way. Or maybe I was probably just afraid of it because everything's scary for me until, someone introduces me to it. Um, but yeah, so I started seeing that person. I started getting medicated, and I don't know. So now I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years since I started taking medication for depression, and that's been like such an incredible journey. And I guess really like the thing is now I look back with a lot of gratitude for that experience, and being so far removed from it, I feel like it taught me so much because it really sat me down and made me consider what's important to me. And the more I thought about it, the more it was just like the people that I love. And I reflected, and I really felt like I hadn't always shown people that I loved enough that I cared about them. And I was sitting looking down, I was like, man, I wish someone was telling me, or I wish I was feeling loved right now. And so then I feel like since then I've tried to be much better about reaching out to people and letting them know what they mean to me and how important they are. And because I feel like people really want to be seen and heard and felt and cared about. And one of the big hurdles for me was like realizing that other people want to be seen and heard and felt and cared about as much as I do. Because I was always kind of like shy about that. Like it just seemed I was just too insecure and just didn't have enough like just self-worth to put myself out there and trust that somebody would accept me. But it's just been like an incredible experience of growth, like trying to push myself to extend myself to people and have people receive me and love me back. And I mean, it's such a mutually rewarding experience, and it just makes me so grateful to wake up in the morning. and it's become like my personal journey of just appreciating that, like, what really means something to me at the end of the day is community, is love, is people, and then everything else on top of that takes care of itself. And so, like, I don't know. Somehow that's gotten me to where I'm at, which is really just trying to, like, be in the present and not worry about too much else.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, like, you know, you said you talked about, like, starting medication and it's, like, kind of changed things for you.
Mm-hmm.
Going from a place where you felt absolutely low and now you're working with an amazing company, like you're doing your thing, like you're happy, you love what you're doing. What would, like, your advice be for someone who's, like, going through a tough time?
Oh man, that's a great question.
You're a great example of what happens when you know, get the help you need. You know, I just started medication too, and it's changed my life forever.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I feel like a new person. Like,
oh, that's incredible.
It's like I'm breathing for the first time. You know.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so, like,
that's so great. Yeah, you know, I have a good friend of mine who has bad anxiety, and like a few years after, actually during like COVID-19, he was having such a hard time, and I was like, bro, you obviously, I mean, he started going to therapy, but he was just so hesitant to be medicated because he was like afraid it was gonna like change him, and he was afraid of what that would be, like what his changed self would be. And I don't know if that was a similar experience for you.
Yeah, I was so scared about it changing me and being reliant on something for my happiness. But then I have had this mindset. It's like, you know what? I mean, it's not going to do it, but what if medication takes 20 years off of my life? But I was like, well, I'm not really living life anyways. So if I take medication, it's actually just going to allow me to live life. And if it's shorter, so what? At least I'm living my best life, you know? So that's kind of like where I had a snap. Like, I remember
that's excellent.
I was crying to my mom on the phone many nights. I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was at such a low. And then when I took medication, I'm like, holy shit, is this what it feels like to live life? Like, is this what it feels like to be happy?
Isn't that a beautiful thing? Yeah. And I mean, I wonder if at this point it's getting corny to point out that a lot of what we consider to be illnesses are just, you know, various imbalances of chemicals in our brain that, you know, change our perception. But it's really true, and we just adjust the chemicals, and it makes it so much easier to see the world a little bit. But you were asking about advice. Wait, there was something I was gonna say. What were we talking about? Well, I mean, I don't have like a specific suggestion of advice, but for me, it's just been about, like, I've just really, man, I just have such good people around me. That's really what it is. And I've been able to keep pulling them in and getting more, and I can't believe all the great friends and people that I have who have given me guidance. And so even like this company that I'm at, that I just believe in deeply, like, I met my boss just one day. We've now known each other for 3 years. The company is like a family company. We use the same model every shoot. Me and bro sleep in the same sleep in the same room in hotel rooms. Geez, pause. That's crazy. I wonder what I just said. That's hilarious. Edit that. Anyway, we like crash together and smoke up in the hotel rooms, and like, it's so much fun. I have so much fun doing trips with them and spending time like traveling the world and being inspired by art and music and clothes and all this. So I feel like for me it's just been about leaning into trusting people and trusting that they care about me. Which is ironic because I just had a conversation where I totally betrayed what I just said with this girl that I love, and I'm just being an idiot. Like, God damn it, you know? we're on okay terms at this moment, though. I cleared it up before the interview. I was like, I really can't have this hanging over me.
Were you like, I mean, if you want to talk about it, we could talk about it.
No, I don't. No, I don't even know that I want to. I'm just going on random trains of thought. But yeah, so I apologize. This is gonna be such an ADHD.
No, that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Just be you, like speaking.
Oh, okay. Well, so this is another thing I will say. This is another random thought about ADHD, which is one time I was talking to my brother, and he was saying like, bro, I was like pacing around the room when I was on the phone with somebody, and he was like, bro, you're being so ADHD right now. Like, you should see a doctor. You should get medicated for that. I was like, first of all, like, this thing that we call ADHD is just like refers to what a set of symptoms that some people portray, and we put them all in this box and called it a disease. If it's not affecting my ability to like be a productive person and go about life, then I don't see any reason that I should like try to confine myself the parameters of my personality for the sake of what, like, not bothering other people by being distractible, or like, you know, to me in America, the whole like the map of like, there's like a map that displays the density of like where ADHD meds are prescribed like across the country, and like lo and behold, the whole Northeast is just lit up red. California, the West Coast, lit up red, really peters out in the middle of the country. And this just like maps exactly onto like where people are hyper stressed about like higher education, and where people have more money to go to doctors to get ADHD shit prescribed, you know. And so there's so many other things where that's mapping onto, that suggests to me that ADHD is less of a epidemic amongst the people and more of, I mean, there are larger incentives at play when capitalism is at work. Like, I'll just put it that way.
100%. I think ADHD is the greatest gift I have. It allows me to be my creative self. It allows me to be random. It allows me to think about 1,000 things at once, and it lets me just, like, I am ADHD. That's me, and I'm so happy about it. Like, I wouldn't have it any other way.
See, at this point, like, I was like semi-diagnosed by my doctor. I'm not like diagnosed ADHD per se. That said, I really like resonate with this kind of like scatterbrain style of thinking, and it makes it so much fun. Like, so now Kanye is quite a contentious figure, but I really like listening to him talk in interviews sometimes, because he really speaks that way, where his mind just like jumps from thought to thought to thought, and they like connect in this way that doesn't like quite arc in the way that people want it to, because he's not like trying to come off as a, you know, especially, I don't know, brilliant rhetorical thinker. He's just trying to like say what's on his mind and say what the world looks like to him. But anyway, there was this like quote that he was saying to Tucker Carlson, where he was like, because I like overheard this interview, because JC, the model, was like watching on his phone in the hotel room, and there was one moment where he was like, I apologize for answering all of your questions in 3 parts that are disconnected. And I was like, yeah, like that shit makes so much sense to me. You know, because it's not quite an answer, but it gets more of the point across than an answer could. If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. So if we're wrapping this interview up right now, you could leave someone watching with like something like just to resonate with. What would it be? I'm putting
Man, no, 100%. Fucking love yourself and trust yourself, and like you're so fucking excellent. You know, like we all, oh shit, see, this is now going to be a kind of tangential thought, but we're all just like, everybody's life has equal value. Like, all of our perceptions coexist. Nobody deserves anything more than you. Our life is the only one that we could possibly live. like be in every second of it. The past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist. Only the present ever exists. Oh man, those are different thoughts. But yo, like all of that shit inspires me, to be honest. Like, yeah, like just man, it's just a beautiful thing to say. I'm gonna like follow my impulses and trust that like the universe is guiding me.
That's real. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.
Bro, thank you so much for having me. I hope like 2 seconds of that is usable.
All 15 minutes of it is
Amazing. I would love to hear more about you. I'm sorry that I've talked so much,
no,
bro.
You're good.